Trade tensions with China has left investors in a constant state of uncertainty. Our next guest says that a resolution on trade is not priced into the market, leaving discounted stocks on the table. With us now is Eric Marshall, Hodges Funds portfolio manager. Eric, good to see you.
Good to be here.
And you're talking about a positive resolution not being priced into the markets, basically.
Yeah, I think at this point, what we've really seen a supply chain disruption because of what's happened with trade. And companies have had to adjust to that. So I think like the weak manufacturing numbers that we saw yesterday really reflect something that's transitory, that as companies adjust to that. And we still think the consumption is relatively good, and we're finding opportunities, especially in small cap stocks that have really lagged the broader market over the past year.
So if I hear you correctly, you see potential upside. I mean, that's a given if they get some kind of agreement. But what happens if on October 11th, after the meeting in Washington, we're headed to raising tariffs on the 15th? Has the market accounted for what could happen if we escalate this?
Well, I think we've priced in a lot in. I mean, there is a lot of anxiety out there right now. There's a lot of skepticism about that. So I think some of that is already priced into the market. And at the same time, we spend a lot of time, our team of 10 spends a lot of time talking to company managements. And what we're hearing from the companies that we're talking to is that they're making plans to source their products in other places other than China and really adjust to the new trade sanctions that are affecting their businesses.
But if the market was, really worried about trade, wouldn't we be much farther away than we are now from record highs in the market? I just point to the resiliency of stocks so far this year.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that was really where valuations were going into the year, given what happened in the fourth quarter a year ago. And at the same time, we see relatively good trends in consumption out there. 85% of our economy is now service-based, and we think we can find pockets of strength in things like home building, certain areas of technology, and even in some of the beaten down areas of some of the consumer stocks, we're finding opportunities.
Michael, you and your company, your fund, essentially, you're looking for consumer brands. Is this accurate?
It's consistent with what we see, and especially at the smaller side, even businesses that are sub 100 million in revenue, we're seeing them do the contingency planning over the past year to diversify their supply chain. So they're stronger than they've ever been from their upstream activities. And if there is a resolution, they'll be that much stronger and be able to now have a broader base of suppliers.
I was just going to ask about some of your picks here, Eric, because the first one in particular, Owens Corning, which is a materials provider effectively, among other things, roofing insulation. There, though, not only do you have to worry about the supply chain, you have to worry about end market demand. And the housing numbers have been kind of choppy over the past 6 months or so.
Yeah, when you look at it, everyone was really negative going into this year on housing because we expected higher mortgage rates, and we've gotten just the opposite. So the important drivers of housing right now, especially on the entry-level end of things, are really household formation, employment, and affordability. And with mortgage rates coming down here, affordability has been improved. You have some positive things happening from a demographic standpoint with the millennials now buying houses, moving to the suburbs. And we like the entry-level housing space. And we think Owens Corning is a great way to play the recovery in housing. Also on the roofing side, a big part of their business is replacement, regardless of what's going on. So we think that that's a very attractive valuation and an example of how we're finding opportunities in this market that are really not affected by trade.
All right, Eric, good to see you. Eric Marshall of Hodges, appreciate it.
Thanks.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.